Welcome to Brand Collaborations and Partnerships. This is about how to build your business, build your brand and your bottom line by actually using strategic relationships to grow. I'm Therese Tarleton, and today I want to take you through a little bit about collaborations and how they work for brands and business owners. 71% of consumers enjoy when multiple brands come together and create something unique. Customers love it. Also, the very big businesses, KPMG did a survey, and a third of the top CEOs are prioritizing strategic partnerships above all other marketing initiatives. What the big brands know is that this works. And I want to show you how you can use this in your business. So I want you to meet Lara Scalari. Lara is a local abstract artist in Sydney, and this is her dog Barry. Now, like many of us, Lara actually is an amazing craftsperson, really good at her craft. Her craft is painting. But like every other business owner, you have to do all the things, right? And so Lara is always looking for commercial opportunities to extend her product and increase her sales. So you can buy Lara's artwork through Luxe Walls, where you can get it in wallpaper for a commercial space like a restaurant, or you can even buy a beautiful designer rug that you could have in your home, and that's through Designer Rugs. So Lara went to a networking event like many of us do, and she met the owner of Visio, which was a local Italian restaurant in Sydney. Now they had a great conversation and decided that maybe they could do something together. So what they did is they decided to come up with an event. So for one night only, all of Lara's following and all of Visio's customers were invited to an event where Lara would launch her collection. The diners could meet Lara, hear about her inspirations, see her, meet her, and actually Salvatore, who is the head chef, was so inspired by Lara's artwork that he created a signature dish for that night only. Now, Lara leveraged all of her marketing assets, her database, her gallery space, her social media, and invited all of her following. And Visio did the same. They had flyers up at the restaurant, they SMS'd their diners and invited them to this exclusive event. The event was sold out, and the result was that Lara got to sell a whole lot of her beautiful paintings to customers that hadn't discovered her before. And Salvatore had a whole new group of diners who had never been to his restaurant and loved his food so much that they promised to become locals or loyal customers. So you can see here that this is just two businesses that came together to create something amazing, something irresistible that their customers could enjoy, and they couldn't get that experience from each of the single brands. They could only get it by having these brands come together. And what these two business owners did is they decided to be brave and to be radically truthful and radically transparent with each other. And if you can do that, you could actually radically improve your business. You like that? So this is about collaborative marketing or brand marketing. And so what is it really? It's when two brands or more come together and create something irresistible for their mutual customer and both grow in the process. As a small business owner, you might not think that you have a lot to offer, but you do. your foot traffic, your space, your database, your social following, your sales reps, your standing in the community, your associations, all these things that you could leverage to do a partnership with another brand. Because what you might find is, as a small business owner, we're trying to do all the things, right? All the things all the time. But maybe the piece that you're missing is actually collaborating with other businesses. Now, this is an age-old marketing technique. I mean, McDonald's have been using it with the Happy Meal for generations, right? And we see this happen a lot in fashion brands and with sports as well. So American Express, so obviously big company, has customers that are small businesses, medium and large. And so they decided to do something called the Collaboration Index. So it was a report, it was a study. And so what they asked is, does the investment generated in collaborations generate a worthy return? Does the investment made in collaborations generate a worthy return? Unequivocally, the answer was yes. And the return on investment took the form of increased sales, a reduction in costs, or both. So let me tell you a little bit about me and why I'm so interested in partnerships. So when I was in my 20s, I decided I wanted my own company, wanted my own business. Quit corporate, off I go. And on a trip to America, I found a Jeep stroller. So Jeep like the car. And this stroller had a steering wheel and big pump-up tires, and it was super fun for the kid. So I bought those strollers to Australia. And when I got the sample, I went into Jeep head office and I met with the PR manager. And I did my first partnership when she said, these are fantastic. What about if I do the PR for you and you give me a stroller? And I said, fantastic. So she got me in every magazine, every newspaper. Now that got me a phone call. And that phone call was from Huggies Nappies, who said that they had an idea and wanted to do a competition. And they were going to give away a Jeep to mother and baby. And would I be willing to actually give them a few strollers? And in return, they would put my stroller on the side of every nappy box in the country in Coles. Amazing. Now, that literally catapulted me to become $1 million business in just a few months of starting. I then got a call from Target, who had actually seen the strollers in the media, and they wanted to be the first one with the product. And then I was like, this partnership thing's good, right? Like, let's do more. So I started bringing in lots of products from other countries that weren't available in Australia, having great strategic alliances with brands, finding out what the retailers want, creating amazing relationships with the retailers in Australia, like Toys R Us and Big W and David Jones. And so it just kept momentum. And then I actually decided I wanted to order a Benetton stroller, and I approached Benetton, and they loved the idea so much so they put it out to tender. And so I had to pitch against these billion-dollar businesses, but I told the story of how I knew about partnerships, I knew about branding, and I knew about what a young mum felt and really wanted an extension of herself in the stroller. And I won. So I got to produce Benetton products, and that helped me grow my business to 5 countries in about 5 years. So it's a pretty amazing journey. I sold that company, and then I used that knowledge to go into corporate, where I'd helped e-commerce retailers actually get more customers, get media, work with different charities to actually increase their sales. And then I worked with a startup and got them seed funding. I worked with Glasshouse Candles, actually coming up with what partnerships are for their retailers and how they could extend. And I also worked with CSR, which is a building products company. And so I did deals to actually get the product on TV shows like The Block and Selling Houses, and actually just kept extending, doing partnerships with architects, designers, interior designers, installers. And so this is all about the fact that when somebody else talks about your brand, it's always going to be more alluring than you talking about yourself, right? So you might be wondering, how do I do this? Like, what's this about? So let me tell you, there's 3 main ways you can do a partnership. The first is when you use your product or your service. The second is when you use your IP or your knowledge in a digital collaboration. And the third is when you actually make it in person, make it an experience. So let me tell you a story about Stu Gregor. He created 4 Pillars Gin. Now, he loves a good collaboration. And he met up with Zoe Foster-Blake, who has Go-To Skincare, amazing brand, loved by women everywhere. So Stu wanted to get his gin in the glasses of more Australian women. So they decided to do a collaboration and they created the new Go-To gin. Now, of course, it came with Zoe's signature amazing face mask, and it had the signature look and feel of Go-To Skincare with the peach color and the peach flavor. Now, they had a whole marketing plan worked out for this, but on the first day, Zoe put out a post and she sold the whole production run of the new Go-To gin in like 2 hours. It's pretty amazing. So this was a great example of how you can actually collaborate with another product, and you can do something that you might be a co-branded product, it might be a gift with purchase, it could be sampling in their boxes, it could be a limited edition that you're creating. It could be, Lara has done some candles with her art, so a candle manufacturer and her art on the boxes and on the candles. So how could you collaborate with another brand? The second, this is actually a service. So you might be thinking, but I've got a service, not a product. So this is Chazelle. Chazelle was a florist, and every day she would be asked by brides, what can I do with my bouquet after the wedding? And obviously there are loads of florists, right? Loads. Just like there's loads of photographers and every other company. And a florist obviously wants a point of difference as well. And what Chazelle created was a new brand, a new idea, and it's called Blooming Keepsakes. And so she has created a product. Her product is a custom-made orb that houses your really special memories in terms of flowers. It could be your grandmother's brooch. It could be the flowers from when you had your baby, all these things. So Chazelle decided to collaborate with loads of florists to give their mutual customer an even better experience. Let me go back. So the brides got to actually have a florist where the florist would actually make their amazing bouquet, and after the wedding, they'd drop it back in. The florist would arrange to send it to Blooming Keepsakes, get it all beautifully done, and it would come back. So after the honeymoon, they'd come back and they would have a keepsake forever. Pretty cool, right? But what it did is bride, very happy bride, great customer experience. Chazelle got all of these florists that actually were really keen to collaborate with her. And the florists were keen because it gave them a point of difference, so a selling proposition to their customer that they didn't have before. And you can do this with any product or service. So it could be a stylist with a fashion brand. It could be a landscaping, like maybe it was a landscaping company with a lawn mowing company, or a pool builder with a pool cleaning company. This is about giving the customer a better experience. Next up is digital. So if you're using your IP or your knowledge. So this on the right is Keddy, and Keddy is actually the head designer at oh my gosh, Globe West. Next up is about when you want to use your knowledge or your IP to create a brand collaboration digitally. So on the left is Jono Fleming and Kerry Ann, and they create a podcast. And they invited Keddy, who is the head of Globe West Furniture. Now, Keddy was so impressed by the quality of this podcast and about Jono and Kerry Ann's knowledge that she decided to do something fun. So she made Jono a designer in residence. So as a Globe West, as a furniture manufacturer, what they know is that people have trouble deciding, and then, they're not sure if they made the right decision. So Jono came in and would help the VIP customers actually curate their beautiful rooms. He wrote content about how to style a dining room table and the right size rug for the room. And the content he produced was actually pushed out on his channels, but also pushed out on all the Globe West channels as well. And so they also made it in store. So Jono went in store, they had VIP nights. And so this was about making the customer happier, giving them a journey where they could actually be secure in their decision making, that they were choosing the right piece of furniture. So a really beautiful collaboration where the customer wins, the retailer won, and also Jono got to increase his credibility in the industry. So think about how you could share your professional advice. It could be a collab with, suppliers that you deal with, or another product or events. So this is about who would you refer to anyway. This is Bank Australia. So they're a new bank, and what they do is they always talk about diversity, sustainability, about the environment. And so they're always looking for new ways to differentiate. They decided, or they met a customer of theirs, which was Violet and Gold. This is Natalie. So she's a small business owner who has got a botanical syrup that you add to water to make a beautiful drink. And so they decided to profile Natalie on their website and actually through their EDMs and send it out to thousands and thousands of people. Now, a lot of those people were homeowners, and they flocked to Natalie's site to actually try her product. So really beautiful digital collaboration, as simple as interviewing somebody and actually sharing that information with your customers. So we want you to think about who could tell your story. So it could be companies that you already deal with, like banks or telecommunication companies. It could be charities that you support. It could even be a marketing agency that you use. Next up is about when you actually pull a few brands together. So this is a digital collaboration, but it could be an in-person. So these were three mates. This was Andrew, Michael, and Darren. Yes, Darren. And so they decided to actually put their heads together. And together they created a collaboration which was about winning a book writing and publishing package. Now, Andrew teaches people how to get the idea for the book out of their head and into a manuscript. Darren is an accountability coach, so he keeps you on track. Michael he has Publish Central, which takes your manuscript and makes it into a book. Portrait Store take great photos, especially for your book cover and your book promotion. McPherson's make your book into a paperback. They actually print it. And Belinda Hurd is an amazing videographer that creates book trailers. So what they did is they all collaborated and they all created this competition where they gave their service, donated their service or contributed their service into this competition. Now, what you can see here is these are all companies that have the same customer, the person who is interested in becoming an author, but none of them compete. So same mutual customer, but non-competitive companies. Now, they created an amazing database full of people that actually were interested in being authors, and individually and collectively, they could then continue to talk to these customers who were interested, or these leads who were interested, to see if they could help them on their journey to become an author. Now, as I said, this could have been a 2-day workshop. This could have been a podcast series or a YouTube series. This could have been a book that they all wrote together. So, but it is about, again, you've got a mutual customer and non-competing companies. So this, as I said, this could be any form. So you could do this over a webinar, a podcast, live interviews, all these different formats. So what I want you to do is really think about how you could put collaboration into your business. It is really the secret sauce in marketing. So I want you to have curious conversations with other brands. And I want you to leave with a basket full of ideas and an impatience to execute them. Now, I'm Therese Charlton, and I am the best-selling and award-winning author of SWAP, Marketing Without Money. This book is a step-by-step guide to help you do partnerships with other brands. And as an incentive for you today, if you scan this QR code, you can actually get the book, the audio book, for free. Any other questions, please reach out. My website is Therese, T-H-E-R-E-S-E, Tarlinton, Tarlinton.com. I hope to see you soon.